Hi, my name is Ashton Gabbart, and I'm a marketing student at Oklahoma State University. Today, I'm going to talk to you about consumer behavior in marketing. I'm going to be discussing 5 of the psychological tactics that marketers use to influence and compel potential customers to buy their products and services. Using these tactics, marketers are able to attract and engage customers. The first tactic I'm going to talk to you about is appealing to potential customers by running emotional ideas. Targeting consumer emotion is a tactic that has long been understood by both marketers and salespeople. Feature and function appeals can also work, but studies have shown that emotional and psychological appeals are much more likely to resonate with consumers. Consumers sometimes doubt marketing claims. Highlighting a product's flaws is one way that marketers are able to raise credibility. By pointing out the elephant in the room, marketers are able to discuss a product's obvious shortcomings in a way that raises consumer trust when they go on to discuss the selling points of the product. The third psychological tactic that marketers use is repositioning the competition. This allows a marketer to change the perception of the competition in a consumer's mind, or to simply position their own brand in a way that makes it look better in comparison. This concept allows a company to leverage themselves in a positive way by using taglines and slogans to adjust consumer perception of the brand. The fourth tactic I'm going to talk to you about today is exclusivity, and why promoting exclusivity. The fourth tactic that I'll be talking to you about is exclusivity, and why promoting exclusivity can help attract potential consumers. Telling the consumer that your brand might not be for everyone might just be what it takes to spark that curiosity that draws them to your brand in the first place. This is a great way to make consumers ask, why wouldn't you be a good brand for me? And ask for more information. At this point, the consumer wants to know more, and they're basically asking you to pitch your brand to them. Marketers can introduce fear, uncertainty, and doubt, a psychological tactic used to scare the consumer into buying the company's product or service. When marketers ethically use this tactic, they are able to trigger a psychological appeal to encourage a consumer to go with your company's brand. This tactic can be thought to be controversial, but it can be ethically used if it benefits both parties by fulfilling the needs and providing value to both the consumer who is seeking value and you, the value provider. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt tactics are favorable to marketers because they get results. So, let's go ahead and discuss our first tactic, emotional appeal. Emotions can be powerful motivators to do or not to do something. Because of this, using emotions in marketing can yield powerful results. Marketers use emotional and psychological appeals to attract potential customers. These appeals are more likely to resonate with customers than feature and function appeals, and because of this, they generally sell better. Running successful emotional ideas can be successful when you demonstrate how the product or service will improve their life, rather than just explaining to them how it works. If a customer believes that you can improve their life somehow, they're going to be emotionally attracted to your brand. So these are the 5 emotions that are the primary emotions that marketers target when using emotional and psychological appeal approaches. Our first emotion is going to be fear. We have guilt, pride, greed, and last but not least, we have love. When used correctly to create appeal, these are the 5 primary emotions that yield the best results in marketing. Though running emotional ideas can be a powerful psychological marketing tool, it needs to be done the right way. Making claims that aren't genuine or claims that fall short can prove to be counterproductive and actually damage the brand. So, our second point here is going to be highlighting your flaws. Marketers that highlight their flaws by pointing out their shortcomings are able to help raise the consumer's trust in their brand. This allows marketers to point out flaws in a way that then optimizes credibility and makes more impact in the consumer's mind when discussing the good aspects of the product and the product's selling points. Let's move on to psychological tactic number 3, reposition the competition. This tactic allows marketers to position their business in the ideal slot by changing the way that their brand is perceived in the consumer's mind. When companies reposition the competition, They try to improve consumer perception of their brand when compared to other brands. Jif Peanut Butter ran a very successful campaign that repositioned other brands. The campaign used the slogan, "Choosing moms choose Jif." And of course, every mom who cared about her kids quickly became a Jif customer. Jif sales skyrocketed. Promoting exclusivity is our fourth psychological tactic. Exclusivity means that a brand or product is exclusive to a select group of customers. Abraham Maslow created a 5-stage pyramid with self-esteem sitting second from top. Self-esteem is directly affected by the concept of exclusivity. In other words, people want to feel important, and customers get a sense of achievement, prestige, or self-respect when they are part of an exclusive group. By telling consumers that your brand might not be for everyone, or that membership has privileges, consumers may actually be psychologically affected in a way that draws them to your brand. The U.S. Marines saw membership rise dramatically after they began using the slogan, "The few, the proud." People wanted to be a part of the few, so that they could have that prestige and that respect that comes with being a Marine. You have to be careful though, because just like emotional appeals, empty claims can cause this to be counterproductive. When all else fails, fear tactics are here to save the day. Introducing fear, uncertainty, and doubt is the final concept that we use when employing psychological tactics. This is used to make consumers stop, think, and change their behavior. These tactics allow marketers to scare consumers into buying their products for the fear or uncertainty of what might happen if they don't. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt tactics are often just referred to as FUD tactics. FUD is so powerful that it's capable of nuking the competition. Politicians use this tactic all the time. A good example of this is when Lyndon Johnson defeated Barry Goldwater in the landslide that was the 1964 presidential election. Johnson ran ads telling people that a President Goldwater could mean the risk of entering a nuclear war. And of course, voters buying into this fear tactic gave Johnson 61% of votes in 44 states. These psychological tactics can be controversial, but they can be ethically used if they do ultimately benefit the consumer. So, in this lesson, we've discussed how marketers run emotional ideas, highlight their flaws, reposition the competition, promote exclusivity, and introduce fear tactics. These 5 psychological tactics are some of the key ways that marketers can attract, have influence on, and compel potential consumers to buy their products. Not all marketers use these tactics, but good marketers do understand the psychology of consumer behavior and how these psychological tactics can have significant impact on and raise the sales of their company. Using psychology to understand what drives consumer behavior and influences purchasing decisions is key in any marketing campaign. So with all said and done, I hope that this lesson has been useful to you and has helped improve your understanding of consumer behavior and the psychological tactics that marketers use. I've went ahead and prepared the following questions just to assess your knowledge that you retained from this lesson. If you need to pause the video after each question, if you need additional time before I give you the answer, that's okay. So let's go into question number 1. Which kind of a marketing appeals best resonate with potential customers? The answers here are emotional and psychological appeals, credibility appeals, function and feature appeals, product benefit appeals, or exclusivity appeals. The answer here is going to be A, emotional and psychological appeals. Question number 2. How are marketers able to optimize credibility? We have answer A, by showing how the product will improve a consumer's life, by repositioning the competition, by discussing membership privileges, D, by pointing out the shortcomings of their product, or E, by ethically using FUD tactics. And the answer here is going to be D, by pointing out the shortcomings of their product. Question number 3. Which peanut butter company successfully positioned their brand as the brand that all moms should purchase? We have A, Peter Pan peanut butter, B, Skippy peanut butter, C, Jif peanut butter, D, Smart Balance peanut butter, or E, Planters peanut butter. And the answer here is going to be C, Jif peanut butter. All choosy moms choose Jif. Question number 4. Promoting exclusivity works by impacting which stage of Maslow's hierarchy of needs? A, love and belonging, B, self-esteem, C, safety, D, physiological, or E, self-actualization. And the answer here is going to be B, self-esteem, which is the 4th level of the pyramid of needs there. Let's move on to question 5. What was it that Lyndon Johnson voters feared would happen if Barry Goldwater would win the 1964 presidential election? A, the defunding of healthcare, B, alien invasion, C, stock market crash, D, hippie takeover, or E, nuclear war. And the answer here is going to be D, hippie takeover. Just kidding. E, nuclear war is actually the answer here. Lyndon Johnson voters feared that Barry Goldwater would put the United States into a nuclear war. And Johnson was actually able to use this fear to his advantage and go on to win the election. Alrighty, well, that is all, folks. I really do hope that this lesson was useful in helping develop your overall knowledge of how psychological tactics can be used in marketing. And I hope that you'll be able to use some of these tips for using psychology to your own marketing campaign's advantage.